apologize. They're working on the technology right now, so I feel like the weather people with the green screen behind
exactly.
you. Usually you don't actually see it on TV, so Andre's got it on film. I'm going to tell you a little bit of background, and then in this case, this project, the pictures really are sort of 1,000 words, and so as soon as we can get this up, I think that will help kind of describe everything. I've been, as Sue mentioned, I've been traveling and working internationally for quite a long time, and I started working with folks in Cozumel in about 2007, even though I had been down there for probably 15 years. This was post Hurricane Wilma, and the island had taken quite a major hit. You could see, oh, fantastic. You could see destruction along the coastlines, buildings, structures. Let me jump over to here. There's quite a lot of pictures, and I'll synthesize the presentation itself, and then we can come back to these. Those are not the right pictures. But since the camera, or the computer is still finding everything. What did I say? We rely a lot on technology.
There we go.
One we really need is behind us.
Could you verbally tell us exactly where this is
Absolutely.
located?
I'm sorry, I'm slightly distracted here. This is just not coming up just a minute. All right, hold on one second. The work takes place in Quintana Roo, Mexico, which, that's okay, that's purposeful. Off the mainland coast. Sorry, one second. We have lots and lots of pictures, but the PowerPoint's not up. I unplugged it because there's student files in the background.
Did the tech guy leave, or do we no longer need him?
I'm hoping we no longer need him, but
Because he looks like he jetted out.
he's like, if she doesn't see me anymore, no.
They were there for a second.
I know.
Isn't it nice to know that a techie has problems with the tech?
Yeah.
Then when we screw up, it makes us feel
That was my thought.
thought.
That was my thought going in.
I just can't figure out what he did with
Anybody here able to help?
it. Oh, I can get it. It just might take a little bit. Sorry that we're.
You can always tell us sea turtle stories.
As Sharman is looking, I'll mention that I had gone on a cruise right after the hurricane and was supposed to go to Cozumel, and we weren't allowed to. There was no pier, there was no dock to dock, but they still sent us there because they said it's so important because the economy is just so devastated because of this, that they really, really need the tourism.
Here she is. It's
Okay.
like 3 lines starting all over.
All right, hooray.
Yeah, I know. This is the official slide sort of for Sue, because I assume she's putting it online, and I wanted to align with the other researchers who had presented, but you'll have another slide. Just kind of backtracking real quick, the project's global education and conservation, working with youth and technology. Terry and Sue already described me. This is our project website, conservation4, as in the number, cozumel.org. You can put a name behind it or you don't have to. And here it is again. Let me backtrack. One of the questions was, where is this work located? Quintana Roo, Mexico is a region that is partially on the Yucatan Peninsula, and there's an island, which many of you guys have heard probably because of tourism, Cozumel, that sits right off the coast. It's directly across from Playa del Carmen, and you can only get there obviously by boat or plane. I work with the FPMC, the Foundation of Parks and Museums of Cozumel, and their youth organization, which is called Jóvenes por Conservación. And the kids are amazing. These are some of the kids. This is a mural that we started on my last trip down to Mexico. And this is on the outside of the foundation's stucco wall building here. And so you can see that the kids are just amazing. They have gotten these images largely, actually, we take them from books and the internet and we sort of superimpose them onto the walls, and then they draw the murals. But let me go over here. On the island of Cozumel, there are 4 main regions that the parks and museums are responsible for. One of the main areas is the very southern point of Cozumel. It's very, very remote. Most people don't go there. If you do, it might be because you've rented a car, a tour. The southern point of Cozumel is called Punta Sur, and that is where the mangrove restoration projects happen. The sea turtle nesting grounds are located, and also the crocodile reserve, which there's some large crocodiles in there. I apologize, we played with the colors here. It's hard with the coral reef because none of the fonts show up very well. But this slide is using technology to bridge understandings of global issues. What's really interesting to me every time I describe this project is where I work is really remote. The main city you can fly into or cruise ships will come to, but once again, not very many people get to the rest of the island. I started this project because my background is in media technology and education, and I really wanted to highlight environmental education experiences, especially with youth educators, and researchers around the world. What's key to this project, even though I am in education, that kind of says, it's not always common for kids to have such a hands-on experience. The kids in this case are truly educators and researchers themselves. And some of them are only in elementary school. They fly all around the world. In fact, I've got 2 of them coming to Geneva to speak in July. They just got back from Japan, where they took a contingency of the kids to talk about ocean and marine life issues. One of the reasons that they started Jóvenes por Conservación was the threat to habitat from natural and man-made disasters, but also out of respect for the ecosystem and to help kids understand what is around them. I am continuously amazed by what good Samaritans these kids are. They love it. They eat, breathe, sleep this stuff. I mean, they still play football and go out for organizations, and then, you know, Saturday mornings they'll be helping me with beach cleanup, or at 9 o'clock midnight on another night we'll be checking sea turtle nesting grounds. I mentioned these 3 things to put a little bit of context behind this project. Once again, I mentioned a few minutes ago, while I've been in Cozumel for about 15+ years, maybe longer, I started doing research in 2007 after Hurricane Wilma. Not only had it destroyed things like buildings and docks and piers, it had taken like palm trees, literally projected them into the air, into lagoons, walked off like water pathways. There was just trash and debris everywhere. I've got a few pictures of that. And a lot of the devastation happened under